Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. First things first, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power, Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai. And I want to send love and blessings and peace to all the sincere brothers and sisters out there in the four corners of the earth. This is going to be a short video. I hope it's edifying. The topic is archaeological evidence of the existence of the children of Israel. Now, by no means should any of this have anything to do with your faith, okay? Because our belief and trust on Yahweh is based on faith, not on proof, okay? Paul said what? Faith is the hope for things unseen. So whether I was showing you this or not, it should already be in your spirit to believe and have faith that not only are you God's chosen people, but that he loves you and he's dealing with you in your daily lives if you're doing your best in earnest to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, okay? But this is just for education, just for information. You got a lot of gainsayers that want to say, you know, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Egypt is written on the walls. We got our proof. But see, most of the people saying that is Israelites anyway. They just don't know who they are. They've lost their heritage. And that's why the scriptures say this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And what do we see out there in the world? A bunch of confused brothers and sisters that don't know their heritage or their history. They looking all over trying to find the truth when it's right in front of them the whole time. All they had to do is open up the book of the law and read. That's it. The scriptures say the law is perfect, converting the soul. But brothers never want to give it a chance. They want to try everything but the real truth, which is that you're an Israelite and that your heritage and your way of life, your culture, is the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what's going to heal our nation. So hopefully, you know, this video just shines a little bit of light on the history and just strengthens you brothers and sisters in the spirit. Okay, without any further ado, let's begin. All right. Our first artifact is going to be the Moabite stone, otherwise known as the Mesha stele or the Mesha stele. Okay. A stele is a vertical slab. You know, it's like a vertical, small monolith that they used in the past to record certain important events or certain historical moments within a nation's history. You know, whether they won a war, whether they conquered somebody, whether they lost, or there's a famine or a drought, and they would commemorate it with a stele or stele. Okay. So this is the Moabite stone or the Mesha stele. All right. It's in the Louvre Museum in Paris. It's from 840 BCE. So essentially this is 2,856 years old. If I'm not mistaken, if my calculations are correct. Okay. So why is this object special? Why does it matter? Because it mentions Israel. It mentions the house of David, and it also mentions the proper name of the Most High. All right, let's bring it out. Okay, so on line 1 of the Moabite stone, it says this. It says, I am Mesha, son of Chemosh Gad, king of Moab, the Dibonite. My father reigned over Moab 30 years, and I have reigned after my father. Okay, now, how does this link up with the scriptures? All right, let's turn to 2 Kings 3 and 4. 2 Kings 3 and 4, and it reads, And Mesha, king of Moab, was a sheep master, and rendered unto the king of Israel 100,000 lambs and 100,000 rams with the wool. But it came to pass when Ahab was dead that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. All right. So now what do we see here? We see that the Moabite stone names their king as Mesha. We see that the Bible in 2 Kings 3 and 4 recognizes King Mesha as the king of Moab. All right. So the Bible and the Moabite stone are linking up right now. Okay, so for the gainsayers that say, man, that history's not real, where's the artifacts, where's the proof? Well, here's another nation's artifact linking up with the Bible, totally unrelated. So as far as comparative research goes, this is a primary source to back up the existence of the reign of King Jehoram, because Jehoram was king. He was the son of Ahab. He was the king during the time of the Moabite stone being created. Okay, and what does he say? He says Meshah was the king of Moab, and he was a sheep master. What does the Moabite stone say? It says, I am Meshah, son of Chemosh Gad, the king of Moab. All right, so there's your first link up. Okay, so next up on the Moabite stone, line 5, it reads, Omri was king of Israel. Ha, see, you can't get around that. The Moabite stone actually mentions Israel. Reading on, it says, and oppressed Moab during many days, and Chemosh was angry with his aggressions. His son succeeded him, and he also said, I will oppress Moab. In my days, he said, let us go, and I will see my desire upon him and his house. And Israel said, I shall destroy it forever. This is on line 5 of the Moabite stone, okay? So what you're seeing here is another nation mentioning how the Israelites were their enemies. And it says Israel twice, okay? So there you go again. Another hardcore, can't get around it artifact mentioning Israel, okay? Now, how does that link up with the scriptures? Let's turn to 2 Kings 3 and 5. Let's go back there. I read that earlier. Let's go back over it and let's see how Moabite stone line 5 links up with 2 Kings 3 and 5. Okay? Most High is amazing. You see how that worked out? Watch this. 2 Kings 3 and 5. Okay? But it came to pass when Ahab was dead that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. Okay, going back to the Moabite stone, we see how that links up. The king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. And what does it say? It says, Omri was king of Israel and oppressed Moab during many days, and Chemosh was angry with his aggressions. How was he angry with his aggressions? He rebelled. Okay, so there you go. The Moabite stone again is reading synonymous, almost line for line with the Holy Bible. Okay, there's no getting around that. All right, and I got one more thing to show you from this artifact. Actually, a couple more things. Okay, before we move on to the next one. All right, this one has a lot of info on it, and I mean, just right here alone, you got to acknowledge the children of Israel, because the Moabite stone right here, okay, is verifying not only the aggression between the Moabites, enemies of Israel, but they're verifying each other in the same time period, okay? That's convergent history and comparative research, all right? Let's go to line 18 of the Moabite stone. Look what it says here. It says, and I took from it the vessels of Yahweh. Yes, the Moabite stone uses the proper name of the Most High God and acknowledges him as the God of Israel, okay? Because you see here they're gloating for taking some of the vessels, okay, from, our temples, all right? So we see here that the Moabites and the Israelites were enemies, okay? The Bible tells you the Moabites were the enemies of the Israelites, and here a Moabite artifact is telling you that the Moabites and the Israelites were enemies, all right? Let's move on to one more. I found another line that links up with the Bible, and I just want to bring that out really quick. It's Moabite stone line 25 and 26, and it says, make you every man a well in his house, and I dug the ditch for Kachah with the chosen men of Israel. All right. Now, what does that really mean? Well, that's saying that they took prisoners of some of the Israelite warriors and made them dig water ditches, okay? Because when you used to fight wars in ancient times, you'd be out in a big field or in a clearing, and you'd set up camp. And, you know, one of the essential things was water, okay? So they would dig ditches to collect rainwater or to channel water, okay, into one place so the men could drink. And of course, if you took prisoners, you're going to make them dig the ditches, okay? So here you see the Moabite stone is marking that moment, all right? But now, let's see what the Bible says. Turn to 2 Kings 3 and 16, okay? 2 Kings 3 and 16. And see how this links up, because this event is marked in the Bible, okay? Now, the Moabites are telling it from a victorious standpoint, but the scriptures say we won that battle. But let's just see. Let's see what's there. 2 Kings 3 and 16. Salaki, I got 1 Kings. 2 Kings 3 and 16. Okay? And it reads, and he said, thus saith Yahweh, make this valley full of ditches. For thus saith the Lord, ye shall not see wind, neither shall ye see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water, that ye may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beasts. Verse 18, and this is but a light thing in the sight of Yahweh. He will deliver the Moabites also into your hand. Okay? So on the Moabite stone, they tried to tell it from the standpoint that they dug those ditches. But we see here the Bible is saying that actually the Israelites, we dug the ditches by the command of the Most High. And he said it's not going to rain. You're not going to see anything like that. I'm going to fill those ditches with water so that you could drink. But see, on the Moabite stone, they tried to make it as if they dug those ditches and that they forced the Israelites to do it. But see, the point here, it doesn't matter who did it or not. You know, I have faith in the scriptures and in Yahweh, so I know that we did as he commanded. Because as it goes on into verse 24, we see that we smote the Moabites in that land, even into their country. All right, we stomped them out like we're supposed to do. Okay, but the Moabite stone is backing up a biblical story. They're just trying to tell it from their point of view, but you can't get around the fact that they're telling you it happened. Okay, so not only do they verify the children of Israel existing, they verify fighting with the children of Israel, and they even mention the God of the children of Israel. So here's your archaeological evidence right here. Okay, everybody should know about this one. But see, what happens is you have people that say, okay, this has been plagiarized. You can't trust the Moabite stone. We need another source. Okay, you want to gainsay? I got another source. Okay, next up, we have the Prisms of Sennacherib. All right. Who's Sennacherib? Sennacherib was the king of Assyria, another enemy of the kingdom of Israel. And he was around during the reign of King Hezekiah. King Hezekiah was one of the, the righteous kings of Israel after Solomon. He was one of the righteous kings. Okay. The Sennacherib prisms are from 689 BC. That's 2,705 years ago. Okay. Ancient artifact. Everybody knows who King Sennacherib is. He was a real person in history. And, there's lots of archaeology that point to him. All right. The Sennacherib prisms are in 3 places because it's 3 of these things. All right. And they're in 3 places. One is in the British Museum. One is in the Oriental Institute of Chicago. And one is in the Israel Museum of Israel. All right. Why is this important? Because it mentions Judah. And it also mentions King Hezekiah. Okay. All right. Let's see how. All right. On the Sennacherib prism, you're going to find a big block of text that mentions all these things in basically one large paragraph. I've compiled it here and let's see what it says. All right. This is off of the Sennacherib's prism. Okay. It says, as for the king of Judah, Hezekiah, who had not submitted to my yoke, I besieged and captured 46 of his fortified cities. All right. So we're looking at artifacts from enemies of Israel bragging about their exploits in fighting with us. Okay? For somebody to say the Israelites never existed, you're ignoring these things. You got to be ignoring these things. All right? You just choosing to be ignorant. All right? You want to be wise to do evil, but to do good, you have no knowledge. You're just ignoring this. All right, let's read it again. It says, as for the king of Judah, Hezekiah, who had not submitted to my yoke, I besieged and captured 46 of his fortified cities. Well, let's read the Bible and see if that account is in the Bible. Okay, let's see. Turn to Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 1. Okay, Isaiah 36 and 1. Let's see what it says here. It says, now it came to pass in the 14th year of King Hezekiah that Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, came up against all the defenced cities of Judah and took them. Okay, so the Bible is admitting that Sennacherib captured some of their cities, right? And Sennacherib is made a monument to himself because he was proud of himself, because that's an achievement. All right. We're one of the greatest fighting nations in history. All right. Because we had the Most High behind us. You get straight stomped out. But, we went off and we lost some of that protection. And as we know today, our kingdom fell. All right. So these nations are gloating about it. What is he saying? He's saying he took 46 cities. All right. What does the Bible say? It says Sennacherib came up and he took cities. He came up against all the defense cities of Judah and took them. All right. It's admitted. All right. And you can link that up with 2 Kings 8 and 13. It basically says the same exact thing. All right. Because Isaiah was the prophet during that time. Okay. So here we have it again. Okay. Convergent history. Here's another artifact backing up the existence of the children of Israel. Okay. Even the name of the king at the time. All right. And the Bible says the same thing verbatim, basically. So doubting these scriptures, but you want to believe archaeological finds. Well, if you believe archaeological finds, you got to believe these scriptures because they say the same thing. All right. You're getting less and less place to run around. All right. The Bible is the one true book. It's a book of history, laws. OK, history and laws. All right. All that gainsaying's got to stop. Okay, back to this prism. All right. Reading down a little bit. It says what? It says, I shut him up, talking about Hezekiah, like a caged bird in his royal city of Jerusalem. I then constructed a series of fortresses around him and did not allow anyone to come out of the city gates. All right. So what do we have here? All right. We know the Bible says that 185,000 of Sennacherib's men died. Okay. Overnight. They just was dead. The angel of the Lord came and put them all to death. All right. Sennacherib don't mention that. Why would he? All right. But you know what he does admit? He admit that Hezekiah was fenced into his stronghold and he couldn't really get inside. All right. The Bible says the same exact thing. And the Bible also tells you how Sennacherib died. All right. But that's a story for another day. But what you see here is Sennacherib's records written in stone, reading the same as the Bible. Okay. He said he took some cities. The Bible said he came and took some cities. He said he ain't really get inside. He stayed on the outside. The Bible said he stayed on the outside. But see, the Bible goes on to give you more vivid and tell you that 185,000 of his men was put to death overnight. All right. One of the great stories in the history of the children of Israel. Sennacherib, he kind of left that out. All right. The Bible also tells you how Sennacherib dies. So if you want to know all that, open up the Bible and read the scriptures. The answers are inside. Simple as that. Let's move on to the next artifact. Yes, there's more. All right. Next up, we got the merneptah stele. Merneptah stele. I think I'm saying that correct. This is from 1208 BC. That means this is 3,224 years old. All right. Ancient. It's a granite slab commemorating a victory. All right, that's what pretty much all these items are. When a nation does something great, they want to commemorate it. Where can you find this? This is in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. Why is it important? Because this is the first recorded mention of Israel in all archaeological records. All right, the first time you see Israel mentioned. Okay, let's have a look at it. All right, it says merneptah stele, line 27. It says, conquered is Ascalon, captured is Gezer. Tears are finished. Existing is Israel, the people. Devastated with no seeds is Karu. All right, so there you have it. 3,224 years ago, an Egyptian king made mention of the children of Israel. And we know the Bible tells you that Joseph was over there and he was a great man in that kingdom. And that's where we waxed mighty. We multiplied exceedingly until, we left with Moses. All right. So here's an Egyptian artifact mentioning the children of Israel, the merneptah stele. All right. I'm going to read it again. Conquered is Ascalon, captured is Gezer. Tears are finished. Existing is Israel, the people. Devastated with no seeds is Karu. All right. So there you go. Karu is a Hittite nation. And there's a lot of records about there being a big famine or a big drought that destroyed some of those nations. And merneptah, he dispatched cereal or like grains to the people that were starving in those lands, victim of that famine. Devastated with no seeds is Karu, meaning they had no crops. They was devastated by the famine. And, merneptah's stele marks that moment that Egypt sent, and that's in other archaeological evidence. I don't have it on me, but, I let an Egyptologist prove that Egypt did something good. They sent cereals or grains to this other Canaanite nation, these other Hamitic nations, okay, Kati and Karu. But you see here, it tells you that the children of Israel are existing. And why would they make mention of that? Because we left and they came back into contact with us. Like, yo, the Israelites is out there doing their thing, man. The Most High is still blessing those people, man. So there you go. The merneptah stele, the first recorded mention of the children of Israel in the archaeological record, 3,224 years old. Are the Egyptologists telling you about this? All right. I don't think so. Let's move on. I got a couple more for y'all before we get out of here. All right. Couple more for y'all. Okay. Next up, we got the Tel Dan stele. The Tel Dan stele. All right. It's a broken piece of basalt, speaking of a victory over the Israelites. Okay. How old is this thing, right? Tel Dan stele. It's from 870 to 750 BCE, right? It's like rounded off. Let's choose the earliest time. 750 BCE. For argument's sake, let's not make it older. Let's choose the younger time, right? It's still 2,766 years old. Ancient, right? Where can this be found? In the Israel Museum. And why is it important? It speaks of the king of Israel and the house of David. All right. Another one. All right. Let's look at the Tel Dan stele. Let's break it down. Okay. On lines number 7 of the Tel Dan stele, of the words that could be recovered, you see riots and thousands of horsemen. I killed Joram, son of Ahab. All right. How does that link up with the Bible? Well, Ahab was a wicked Israelite king. All right. You might remember his wife was Jezebel was Ahab's wife. All right. And his son's name was Joram. Okay. Let's find out that account. Let's turn to 2 Kings 8:28. 2 Kings 8:28. And let's see if this links up. 2 King 8:28. And what does it say? It says, and he went with Joram, the son of Ahab, to the war against Hazael, king of Syria, in Ramoth Gilead, and the Syrians wounded Joram. Okay. Now, the Bible says that Joram didn't die. But if you think about it now, he had to retreat. It says, and the king Joram went back to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him at Ramah when he fought against Hazael, king of Syria. All right. So what happened there? Imagine the battle. You wounded the guy. He's an important man in the army. He's the king's son, right? You wounded him. He fled. He retreated. Okay. You're going to come back and you're going to tell all your people, yo, we killed the king's son. They took his body back. We seen it, right? So let's read it again. Riots and thousands of horsemen, speaking of the skirmish, I killed Joram, son of Ahab. Okay? And who are we talking about right now? We're talking about the Teledan stele. Salaki, I didn't mention it before, but this is made for a man called Hazael of Aram Damascus. Okay, and what did you see in 2 Kings 8:28? Joram, the son of Ahab, went to war against Hazael, the king of Syria, in Ramoth Gilead. Okay, so we're talking about the same person here. I mean, you can't get around that. Let's read on. Line number 8. It says, King of Israel, and I killed Ahaziah, son of Jehoramkin. Okay. Then some of the pieces are broken. King of the house of David, and I set their towns into ruins and turned their land into desolation. So a stele is obviously a monument to a victory in a war. Hazael is telling it from his side, saying that he won, saying that he killed some of the people in Israel, some of the mighty men. Let's see what the Bible says. 2 Kings 9:28. I read some of it earlier, but let's bring back the emphasis. If you look at the latter part, it says, and Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Joram, the son of Ahab, in Jezreel because he was sick. See, now the Bible doesn't mention Ahaziah being killed, but what is the Teledan stele? It mentions his name. It says, and I killed Ahaziah, so they pronounced it differently, son of Jehoram, kin. You know, they spoke a different language, so names don't translate the same, right? Names don't translate the same. You want to say names in their original language to get them right. Israel know what I'm talking about, you all right? You know, we like to say the name of the Lord in Hebrew, you know, out of respect and reverence and being earnest. All right, but that's the story for another day. But yeah, man, you see it right here, okay? The Teledan stele is making mention of all these Israelite kings. It's saying they killed them. The Bible doesn't back that up. Like I said, I roll with the scriptures, okay? None of these shall fail. I roll with the scriptures. But here's another nation mentioning the children of Israel by name. They're kings, okay? So you can't gainsay and say, no, them kings never existed. That never happened. Look, here's another nation 2,766 years ago telling you it happened. All right? From their side of the story, so be it. All right? You still can't deny the history. And I got another one. Let's keep it moving. All right. Next up, we have the Kirk monoliths. The Kirk monoliths. All right. These are it's a monolith stele of Shalmaneser III and Ashurnasirpal II. All right. Those names are, you know, those names are kind of hard to pronounce. Shalmaneser kind of rolls off the tongue, but Ashurnasirpal II. All right. It's in the British Museum. It mentions Ahab. Okay. Another mention of Ahab, the king of Israel. All right. It is from 879 BC. That is exactly 2,895 years ago. All right, y'all. Ancient. Okay. Why is this special? Let's see what it says. Okay. The Kirk monoliths, the 5th sentence, it says 700 chariots, 700 cavalry, and 10,000 or 20,000 soldiers belonging to Erhulani of Hamath, 2,000 chariots, and 10,000 soldiers belonging to Ahab the Israelite. Okay? So now, what do we see here? We don't have a biblical account that mentions Ahab giving away 10,000 soldiers and 2,000 chariots. But we do know that Ahab was in he was in cahoots with Damascus, right? And after the battle of Aphek, in alliance with Ben-Hadad against their hereditary enemy Assyria. Okay, so he made alliances with other nations to make them allies. He paid them tribute. So it's not too far out of the realm that he was also paying tribute to Shalmaneser III. Okay, that's not too far out of the realm. So no, we do not have a scripture that backs this up. But since the gainsayers don't believe in the scriptures anyway, we got the artifact itself mentioning Ahab and the Israelites. All right, 10,000 soldiers belonging to Ahab the Israelite. Okay, how old is this thing? 2,895 years old. So Ahab was wicked anyway. So all of his back dealings, that he probably did it off the books and they wasn't recorded anyway. But guess what? This other nation, they backed it up. They mentioned it. They're saying that Ahab existed. They're saying that he was an Israelite 3,000 years ago, y'all. Basically 3,000 years ago. All right? About 100 years, 2,900 years ago. Okay? So stop the gainsaying, all right? The artifacts are out there. All right, y'all just wasn't looking hard enough because, hey, that's why the Most High, he raises up his men to do this scholarship and do this work and take pleasure in it to bring glory to his name. Okay. All right, we almost done, y'all. We almost done. I got a couple more, and then we out of here. Okay. The next one I have is the Nimrud tablet. The Nimrud tablet. Okay. This is the first archaeological mention of the name Judah anywhere. Okay, this is from 733 BC. That makes it 2,749 years old. Okay, it's a tablet describing the first 17 years of Tiglath-Pileser III's reign. Okay, this can be found in the British Museum. All right, remember that name, Tiglath-Pileser III. Okay, let's see what this says. See, this thing was damaged badly, as our most ancient artifacts. But there's a huge paragraph naming different kings and different cities, okay, of where Nimrud, or where Tiglath, he was receiving tributes. Okay, so in the past, kings would honor themselves like, okay, all these nations paying me tribute. And the Bible tells you that. The Bible tells you all the nations who paid King Solomon tribute. Okay? It says they was bringing him gold on boats and concubines and all types of linen and incense and everything. All types of tribute. Anybody who came to see him. Okay, so that's a kingly decree. You got to bring a tribute when you come into his land. So this man has a tablet set up that's talking about all the different tributes he received. But see, looking on there, let's see what it says. It says, Jehoahaz of the land of Judah. Okay. It names a king Quas Malacca of the land of Edom. Okay, now you see it's really badly damaged. You couldn't really make it out. But what does it say? It says gold, silver, tin, iron, lead, multicolored garments, linen garments, the garments of the land, red, purple wool, all kinds of costly articles, produce of the sea and dry land, commodities of their lands, royal treasures, horses and mules broken to the yoke. These are all the types of things that you, when you pay tribute, you would give to the king, because he could use that in his kingdom. All right. Some of it was just for the king. Other things was for his kingdom. All right. So that's what this tablet is. It's marking the tributes. And what does it say? It says Jehoahaz of the land of Judah paid him tribute also. And it mentions gold and silver. Well, let's see where that links up with the Bible. Turn to 2 Kings 16. Okay. 2 Kings chapter 16, verses 7 and 8. Now, this tablet says King Jehoahaz. But now remember. That's English, Jehoahaz. There's no Yah-E. There's Salaki. There's no J or E. All right, so it would have been Ahaz, okay? But they put the Jeho in front. Why? Because they knew the God of the children of Israel. It's Yahweh. All right? So in English, they transliterated to Jehoahaz, but it's really Yahwehaz if they was trying to say it properly to the best of their ability. So it would be Ahaz, but we call him Yahwehaz because they named him by the God he served, or the God of his people. Okay? All right, that's deep right there. So now look, 2 Kings 16 and 7. What does it say? It says, so Ahaz sent messengers to who? Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, saying, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Syria and out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me. So this is during the time where the kingdom was split, and the king of Israel and the king of Judah would war against each other. All right. The northern and southern kingdom would have, like a cold war against each other. Okay. So what did Ahaz do? He was reaching out to Tiglath-Pileser to give him some military strength in fighting with the king of Israel. Reading on, what does it say? In verse 8, it says, and Ahaz took the silver and gold that was found in the house of the Most High and in the treasures of the king's house, and sent it for a present to the king of Assyria. Talking about Tiglath-Pileser III. And that was wicked to do. Why would you give the honorable things of God to another nation's king? But that's what we was dealing with at that time when the kingdom was split and we was going through all those issues. But as you see on the Nimrud tablet, it says Jehoahaz of the land of Judah, Quasmalach of the land of Edom. And what does it go on to say? Gold and silver. What does the Bible say? He sent silver and gold. All right. Come on, y'all. Don't be simple. That's the same account. All right. So now you have this ancient artifact backing up a biblical event 2,749 years ago. Okay. The Bible and this artifact is on point with each other, y'all. So when people asking for artifacts for proof, we need some type of proof. Where's the walls? We don't see no statues, nothing like that. Yo, you got to understand. The history of the Bible has been recorded through antiquity because the Most High made it like that in the Holy Scriptures. All right. He had the other nations preserve our records so we can have them today. Why? Because in their pride, they was deceived. Okay. They thought this book was about them. Then they learned it wasn't about them. Then they tried to use this book against us because our salvation is in this book. But also the history is in here. All right. The Bible got everything in here. That's why I believe this book. And now you're seeing that there's archaeology out there that's backing up everything this book says. Okay. And it should be the other way around. The Bible's verifying what happened in history because, history is tainted. Okay. This is our story. This is our heritage. All right. Come back to your nationality. Come back to, open your mind up to this truth. This is the best thing you're going to read. It's nothing but wisdom in here and truth in this book. Okay. So the gainsayers got nothing else to say. All right. Unless they want to say what? Well, where's all these artifacts is from other nations talking about your people. All right. Where's your artifacts? Well, I'm going to hit you with something. If you turn to Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 1, one of the punishments from the Most High was to take our artifacts from us. It was to take our, the graves of our kings from us. All right. Because we went off. We got punished for that. We got humiliated for that. And one of our humiliations was the graves of our forefathers was desecrated. Okay? Sort of like what Esau does to the kings of Egypt. Goes and robs their graves and puts them up in a museum. Okay? That's not glory. You can't glory in that. That's desecration. All right, let's read that. Jeremiah 8:1. And it says, at that time, saith Yahweh, they shall bring out the bones of the king of Judah, and the bones of his princes, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves, and they shall spread them before the sun and the moon and all the host of heaven, whom they have loved, whom they have served, after whom they have walked, and whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped. They shall not be gathered nor buried. They shall be for dung upon the face of the earth. All right? So that was one of our punishments, losing our ancient burial sites. And that all goes and ties together with losing our heritage. Remember, this is the only captivity where we don't know who we are. So it's important to come back to our culture. What do you mean you're not dealing with the Hebrew? That's part of your culture. That's part of your understanding of these scriptures. You got to go back to the original words and get the sense. So there's no salvation in any other, y'all. We got to come back to the truth of this Bible. You blacks, you Native Americans and Hispanics, you got to come back to the beginning of your greatness, and it's found in the Holy Scriptures. Get you a King James 1611 Bible with the Apocrypha, and you search the scriptures and you find the truth, and it's in there. Okay, the truth is in there. All right. So it's gonna be hard for it. It's really no artifacts on our side of this thing, because the Most High scattered them for dung upon the face of the earth. But I got a little surprise for y'all. One last thing. We got the seal of Hezekiah. Like I said, it's only right. Hezekiah was one of the righteous kings after Solomon, and recently they unearthed a seal, like when they would send a letter, they would take wax and melt it, and then the king would have a signet ring. So this is how you know that it really came from the king, because he had a personal ring, and he would press his ring into the wax to leave an imprint, all right, a signet ring to leave his sign. So what did they find? Salaki, what did they find? They found the seal of Hezekiah, all right? It's in the Israel Museum, and this is an actual Israelite artifact, all right? It's from 727 BC. That makes it 2,743 years old. That's amazing. What does it say? It says, belonging to Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, king of Judah. All right. It's a minuscule centimeter long artifact, and it's decorated with a winged sun disk and an ox symbol. Now, that's Egypt, son. That's Egypt, son. No. You got to understand. The kings of Israel were well known in the land. Okay. It says that King Solomon had Egyptian kings offer him treasure cities. Okay. And daughters. Okay. So this is obviously an artifact from Hezekiah to Egypt. Okay. He just put his seal on it, and that was proof that it was from the king to the king of Egypt, right? All right, so don't try to gainsay. All right, don't get simple. All right, that was done all through the history. Okay, so this is a true to life Israelite artifact, the seal of Hezekiah. Okay, all right, that's it, y'all. I don't really have much else except for, just to tell just come back to your nationality. Come back to this truth, y'all. All right. Study the scriptures. It's a glorious thing and an honorable thing, to be a scholar for the Most High. So, know the truth. Get your precepts right. Don't let them come and gainsay and try to tell you that you're not an Israelite and that your greatness never existed. Have that knowledge. So I hope this helped, and I hope this added to building up your spirit. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.